Okay, in this video we will talk more about the MBTI and how it was developed, and also provide some very real examples that will help to describe concepts behind it. One thing you should know is that the Myers-Briggs type indicator, the most widely used assessment for personality type basically, was developed by Isabel Briggs Myers and Catherine Briggs. Isabel Briggs Myers and Catherine Cooks Briggs were an American mother-daughter team that spent endless hours and about 3 decades putting together something that really gave deeper insight into psychological types. Catherine Cook Briggs was more of a quiet observer and became intrigued with Carl Jung's psychological types around the time of World War I. Then around the time of World War II, she had a child, Isabel. During the suffering and the tragedies of the war that both experienced, they were motivated to do something that could help people understand each other in hopes to help people avoid conflict and war as well. Isabel became absorbed in her mother's work on Jung's psychological types. She wanted to figure out how to make practical use of it though, and that was when the idea of the type indicator was born. As I mentioned before, MBTI and using Jung's personality type theory is useful because understanding your personality preferences can help you gain an understanding of why you feel stressed or uncomfortable in certain situations, in your job, your career, or anything else, as well as how you can form stronger relationships with other people, become more open and understanding of other people, as well as help you to set future goals and obtain employment in areas that fit your personality. As a counselor in the past, I witnessed individuals with mental health problems obtain a job for a short time, then quit, then fall back into destructive behaviors, and then become stabilized again, and then relapse, and then quit their job, and it was just a vicious cycle. But they were all seeking jobs that did not align with their interests or their personality. They get burned out too quickly. It's like going against the grain. They didn't have an awareness of who they were and the environments in which they would thrive. It's not their fault. No one really told them about the tools that are available to them or understanding personality and how it could play a role. But people are not satisfied in their job or personal surroundings, typically if they are experience lethargy or become apathetic. Also, becoming too stressed on the job makes things too difficult for them to continue without dreading it. Until I showed these individuals I used to work with in a counseling setting the value of understanding themselves, their personality, the work values they have, what motivates them, and the way it applies in their life, along with their interests as well, they could now see the value that they had and could see a career that would meet their personality and interests and values. When reviewing assessment results, I just remember eye-opening aha moments for them. When I go through the material, the individuals say, "Oh wow, this is so interesting. This sounds like me. No wonder my energy has been drained so much trying to work at these past jobs," or "No wonder my wife or husband react so differently than I would." It's eye-opening. Now, understanding your personality type can also help you to boost your confidence. Some of us think that we are born as leaders, or that our creativity or originality of our ideas that flow through us would be a great asset to a job or a career or to a company, but we just don't really know what type of occupation might be best suited for us for that. When you discover your personality and understand who you are and discover the many different things about yourself that will make you more confident, you don't really see the value. Additionally, when you look at your strengths as well, you can really capitalize on them. The MBTI is really a tool to help you discover the areas where you can improve, but it also shows you your strength. But gaining awareness of your weaknesses with your strengths is important, but I would capitalize and focus on your strengths. It's much more effective to focus on your strengths than focusing on your weaknesses and trying to build your weaknesses. There's been some research that shows that people that focus on improving their weaknesses end up improving, but only to a level of competency or a bit more. But those who focus on their strengths and capitalize their strengths end up flourishing and becoming very good at what they do. Focusing on areas where you do not have talent and working hard to develop them is honorable, but it is usually less productive. However, when you focus on your strengths, then you will most often find that your learning dramatically speeds up, and the things that were kind of more natural to you, you start excelling in, and the weaknesses you had end up taking care of themselves because you're accelerating in your learning so much, focusing on your strengths. you approach your weaknesses in a different way, sometimes even unconsciously, and they start to build as well. As an example, StrengthsFinder is an assessment that focuses on individual strengths and builds upon people's talents. The researchers behind this assessment researched successful people who were able to use their strengths in the job environment and found that they had something in common. They were more able to exercise their strengths in environments where their personality, strengths, and interests flourished. When you do something you love and find interest in, your brain wires more quickly, and this means that you learn more quickly. Those that focus on their strengths really excel because they find it enjoyable and quickly learn how to do it, and they can become experts that people will turn to for information or guidance or help. Oftentimes, working on things that you are not necessarily good at really diminishes your energy as well and makes it harder for you to become successful. It is better to maximize your potential and leverage it. And by taking your focus off of your weaknesses and focusing on your strengths ends up improving all sorts of areas of your life. There are many examples of people doing this. Some examples of financially successful people are Richard Branson, owner of Virgin Mobile, Steve Jobs, who was the founder of Apple. Both had weaknesses, as most do, but they overcompensated by understanding what they were good at. They used it and capitalized on those things that they were very good at.